You want success? Then stop waking up like everybody else. Stop waking up tired, unmotivated, scrolling through your phone, letting the day come to you instead of taking charge of it. See, too many people think success starts with talent, connections, or opportunity. No, success starts before the world even opens its eyes. It starts the moment you wake up, before you check a single notification, before you speak to anyone. It starts with the mindset you choose when that alarm goes off, because the truth is, how you start your day determines how you finish it. You can't wake up sloppy and expect to walk into greatness. You can't hit snooze and still hit your goals. When that alarm rings, that's your first test of the day. And how you respond tells the world what kind of person you are. You either tell your body what to do, or your body tells you what to do. And if your body wins that first battle, it'll win every battle after. But when you wake up with intention, when you get up knowing that your time is valuable, that your purpose can't wait, something shifts inside you. You start to feel the power of control. You start to realize you own this day. You're not waiting for motivation. You are the motivation. There's a difference between waking up and getting up. Anybody can wake up. It takes no effort to open your eyes. And that takes purpose. That takes fire. Waking up is physical. Getting up is spiritual. Waking up says, I exist. Getting up says, I'm ready to dominate. You've got to train yourself to rise with meaning. You've got to tell yourself every morning, this is my day. This is my moment. I'm not leaving it to chance. Because if you don't set the tone, the world will set it for you. And trust me, the world doesn't care about your dreams. When I say wake up with intention, I mean wake up already knowing what you're fighting for. Don't wait until you feel like it, because you won't always feel like it. Champions don't move on emotion, they move on commitment. You don't need to have energy, you need to create energy. You create it through purpose. When your reason for waking up is bigger than your comfort, you stop negotiating with your alarm clock. You stop needing 5 more minutes. You stop living in hesitation. That's when you step into that mindset where success becomes inevitable. You ever wonder why successful people seem to get so much done before noon? It's not magic. It's mindset. They take those early hours and make them sacred. They understand that the world is quiet, distractions are few, and that's when your vision can breathe. You've got to protect those hours like your life depends on it, because it does. That's the time when you build your foundation for the day. You plan, you pray, you prepare. You get your mind right before the noise starts. You start strong so you don't have to play catch up later. Some of you keep saying, I don't have time. But that's not true. You do have time. You just don't have control. You're giving your time away to things that don't move you closer to your purpose. Every morning you've got a choice. You can create momentum, or you can lose it. You can set the pace, or you can chase it. And I promise you, the people who get ahead are more talented. They just decided that their morning was non-negotiable. They built a habit of winning that first moment every single day. See, success doesn't come from one big decision. It comes from 1,000 small ones. And the first one happens when that alarm goes off. You can either say, just 5 more minutes, or you can say, let's go. You can either roll over or rise up. And when you rise up consistently day after day, that habit transforms you. It builds discipline. And discipline is the foundation of every great success story. Because when you can master yourself, you can master anything. You've got to start seeing your mornings as a weapon, a secret advantage. When you wake up with clarity and purpose, you start winning before the game even begins. You're not reacting to the day. You're creating it. You're setting the rhythm, the energy, the focus. That's what successful people do. They don't wait for opportunity to knock. They build the door before sunrise. And I know it's not easy. Getting up early, staying consistent, pushing yourself when no one's watching, it's hard. But that's exactly why it works. The easy stuff doesn't change you. The hard stuff does. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're telling yourself, I can count on me. And that's the real power. When you stop breaking promises to yourself, when your word to yourself becomes law. So tomorrow, when that alarm goes off, don't hit snooze. Don't start your day reacting. Sit up, breathe. Remind yourself why you're doing this. Take control. Decide that today. You're not just waking up. You're getting up with fire, with direction, with purpose. That's how you start building momentum. That's how you start separating yourself. That's how you start turning potential into power. Success doesn't begin when you show up to work or when you make money or when you get recognized. It begins in that quiet moment before the world starts moving, when you decide who you're going to be today. And when you master that one habit, when you learn to wake up with intention every single day, you'll realize success was never about luck or talent. It was about ownership. Because the way you wake up is the way you live. You've got to feed your mind before you feed your body. That's where success begins, not with breakfast, not with coffee, not with checking what the world's doing, but with checking what you're becoming. See, too many people wake up and immediately start consuming noise, scrolling, watching, reacting. You're letting the world tell you who you are before you've even told yourself what you're about. You can't step into greatness if the first voice you hear in the morning isn't your own purpose. Every single day, you've got to take control of what enters your mind, because what you feed will grow and what you starve will die. When I say feed your mind, I'm talking about intentional growth. You can't expect to think like a winner when you're feeding your mind with distractions, negativity, and comparison. You can't keep watching people live their dreams and wonder why yours isn't moving. You've got to stop scrolling through their success and start scripting your own. Every day, the first thing you put into your spirit should build you, not break you. It should remind you of who you are, not who you're not. See, the mind is like a garden. If you don't plant something powerful, weeds will take over. You've got to decide every morning what seeds you're planting, seeds of belief, seeds of confidence, seeds of discipline. Because what you think about long enough becomes what you do, and what you do long enough becomes who you are. If you start your day with negativity, gossip, drama, or fear, don't be surprised when that's what shows up in your results. You can't have a winning life with a losing mindset. Every successful person you look up to has one thing in common: they protect what goes into their mind. They don't feed on junk, they feed on purpose. Before the day begins, they're reading, they're praying, they're meditating, they're learning something that fuels their fire. They're not waiting until the middle of the day to get motivated. They create motivation through preparation. They feed their focus before the world feeds them distractions. You've got to build that same routine. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a book that challenges your thinking. Maybe it's writing down your goals. Maybe it's listening to something that speaks to your spirit. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that it elevates your mindset. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't lead if you're not being filled. You've got to pour into yourself first so you can pour out to the world with strength and conviction. The reason so many people never reach their potential isn't because they don't work hard. It's because they're not thinking right. Their mind is full of doubt, fear, and limitations that were planted years ago, and they never took the time to uproot them. You can't build a mansion on a weak foundation. Your thoughts are that foundation. So every day, you've got to reinforce it with positivity, belief, and gratitude. You've got to speak to yourself like someone who expects to win. Start your mornings in silence. Sit with yourself. Listen to your own thoughts before you let the world scream at you. Success requires mental clarity, and clarity only comes when you take time to center your mind. Don't let your phone be the first thing you touch. Let purpose be. Don't let notifications guide your energy. Let vision guide it, because the world will always try to steal your attention, but only you can decide what gets your energy. And let me tell you something, your energy is everything. Your energy creates your atmosphere. It determines how you respond, how you create, how you connect. When your mind is right, your energy flows right. You attract better opportunities, better people, better ideas. But when your mind is cluttered with negativity, you repel growth. That's why feeding your mind is not optional, it's essential. Don't just feed your mind with motivation, feed it with strategy. Don't just get inspired, get informed. Read something that expands your understanding. Listen to something that challenges your excuses. Knowledge is fuel, but wisdom is direction. You don't need more hype. You need more clarity. The right information at the right time can change your entire trajectory. But you only get it if you make space for it every morning. And I know it takes discipline. It's easy to say, I don't have time. But if you've got time to scroll, you've got time to grow. If you've got time to watch others win, you've got time to prepare yourself to win. The truth is, it's not a time problem. It's a priority problem. You're either feeding your mind with purpose or starving it with distractions. And the scary part, what you feed today will show up in your life tomorrow, every day. You're building momentum, forward or backward. When you start feeding your mind the right way, your confidence changes. Your focus sharpens. You start walking different, talking different, thinking different. You stop reacting and start leading. That's when your decisions start matching your destiny. So tomorrow morning, before you pick up that phone, pick up your purpose. Before you check what the world's saying, check what your spirit's saying. Take 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, to invest in your mind. Feed it with something that aligns with your goals, something that reminds you that you're built for more. Because when your mind gets stronger, your life gets stronger. The battle for success doesn't start in the world. It starts in your thoughts. You can't win out there if you're losing in here. So feed your mind first, because what you feed will grow. And when your mind grows, everything else follows. You've got to do one hard thing every single day, not once a week, not when you feel like it, every day. Because success doesn't come from comfort. It comes from consistency. And that's where most people fall short. They want results without resistance. They want growth without grind. But life doesn't reward the easy path. It rewards the one who's willing to endure. Every day you've got to prove to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses, that you can handle pressure, that you can do the things that make most people quit. That's how greatness is built, not in one big moment, but in the daily decision to conquer what's uncomfortable. You see, doing one hard thing a day isn't about punishment. It's about preparation. You're not training for today. You're training for what's coming. Every rep of discipline, every step outside your comfort zone, every time you push when it's inconvenient, you're conditioning your mind and your body to perform under pressure. You're teaching yourself how to stay focused when it's not easy, because that's the real test. Anybody can work hard when it feels good, but true champions keep pushing when it feels terrible. The hard thing doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be running 10 miles or giving a big speech. It can be waking up earlier when you don't want to. It can be finishing that project you've been avoiding. It can be making that uncomfortable phone call, saying no to distractions, or showing up when you'd rather rest. It's not about what you do. It's about the principle of doing. The act of saying, I will not let comfort control me, because every time you do the hard thing, you weaken the voice of laziness. You silence the voice that says, it's fine, you can do it later. No, you're building a new standard, one where you stop negotiating with weakness. You've got to get addicted to progress, not perfection. Too many people wait for the perfect time to start. They wait for motivation, for energy, for everything to line up. But life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Every single day is a chance to build momentum. Even on your worst days, doing one hard thing keeps you moving forward. It's a reminder that no matter how tough it gets, you've still got control over your effort. And effort, consistent, disciplined effort, always wins in the end. Think about the greatest athletes, leaders, and entrepreneurs. They didn't get there by doing what was easy. They did what others refused to do. They pushed through pain, fatigue, doubt, and fear. They built habits that the average person avoids. And every day those habits compounded. That's what separates them from the rest. Not talent, but toughness. Because success isn't a one-time decision. It's a lifestyle of doing the hard things until they become second nature. When you do something hard every day, you start to shift your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who gives up easily. You stop doubting your potential. You start building pride in your discipline. You start walking differently because you know you can trust yourself. That's a kind of confidence no one can give you. You've got to earn it. And you earn it through the grind, through those moments when nobody's watching, when it's just you versus your excuses. And don't get it twisted. Doing hard things isn't glamorous. Most of the time it's quiet, it's lonely, it's boring, it's repetitive. But that's where growth hides, in the repetition of discipline. You've got to fall in love with the process, not just the prize. Because when you commit to doing one hard thing a day, the small wins start adding up. Over time, those little victories become unstoppable momentum. That's how average people become extraordinary, by stacking small acts of discipline until they turn into greatness. Let me tell you something. The easy road never builds strong people. It builds fragile ones. If everything in your life is comfortable, you're not growing, you're surviving. And survival isn't enough if you're meant to lead, to inspire, to create impact. You've got to challenge yourself daily so that when life throws punches, you're ready. You can't prepare for storms in the middle of one. You prepare when the skies are clear, when nobody's pushing you but yourself. That's what do one hard thing really means. It's not about pain. It's about preparation. It's about mental conditioning. It's about choosing growth over ease. And listen, when you start doing hard things regularly, your mind changes. You stop seeing obstacles as problems. You start seeing them as opportunities. You stop running from difficulty. You start running toward it, because you know that every challenge is a chance to level up. You stop fearing failure because you understand it's just feedback. That's the mindset of a champion, not avoiding hard, but embracing it. So tomorrow when you wake up, ask yourself, what's one hard thing I can do today? Maybe it's getting that workout done. Maybe it's starting that project you've been putting off. Maybe it's apologizing, taking responsibility, or speaking truth when silence would be easier. Whatever it is, do it. Because the more you do hard things, the easier life gets. And the more you avoid them, the harder life becomes. This is how winners are made, not by doing what's convenient, but by choosing what's necessary. Every day you face resistance, you're forging strength. Every time you push through discomfort, you're shaping your future. One hard thing a day might not seem like much now, but one day you'll look back and realize that's where your transformation began. So don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for the motivation. Just start. Do one hard thing today, and tomorrow do it again. Because when you make discipline your daily habit, success stops being a dream. It becomes who you are. At the end of every day, when the noise fades and the world finally slows down, that's when you've got to stop and look in the mirror. Not just to see your reflection, but to check your direction. Because success isn't just about how you start, it's about how you finish. And too many people start strong in the morning, full of fire and plans, but they never take a moment at night to reflect, to recharge, to reset. You can't keep pouring out without ever filling back up. You can't just grind. You've got to grow. You've got to learn from the day you just lived. That's how you stay sharp. That's how you evolve. You see, reflection is the bridge between discipline and growth. Without reflection, you're just repeating. But with reflection, you're refining. Every night, before you close your eyes, you should be asking yourself, what did I win today? What did I lose? What did I learn? Because success isn't built on perfect days. It's built on lessons learned from the imperfect ones. Every mistake carries a message. Every failure carries a clue. And if you're too busy or too distracted to stop and look for it, you'll miss the very thing that was meant to make you better. You've got to sit with your progress, not just chase your goals. Because when you pause and reflect, you start noticing your growth. You start seeing how far you've come, even if you're not yet where you want to be. Reflection builds gratitude, and gratitude builds peace. It's easy to stay hungry when you're chasing something, but it's just as important to stay thankful for how far you've come. Gratitude gives you balance. It keeps your fire from burning you out. But reflection alone isn't enough. You've got to recharge. Every warrior needs rest. Every dreamer needs silence. You can't operate at your highest level if you're running on empty. Recharging doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise. Because when you rest with purpose, you wake up with power. You can't be creative, disciplined, or focused if your body and spirit are exhausted. So take time every night to breathe, to reset your energy, to protect your peace. Some people think rest means laziness. No, rest is a strategy. Rest is what allows you to keep showing up when others fade away. Rest is what gives you the clarity to keep pushing, the patience to keep believing, and the strength to keep going. Success isn't just about who can work the hardest. It's about who can last the longest. And you can't last if you never recharge. Then comes the last step. Repeat. Every day you reflect, every day you recharge. You've got to wake up and do it again. Success isn't a one-time performance. It's a routine. It's about showing up, adjusting, learning, and growing over and over. Most people fail not because they can't do it once, but because they stop doing it daily. You've got to understand, greatness is built in the repetition. Doing the right things day after day, that's where mastery is born. So when you finish your day, don't just collapse into bed. Sit down and talk to yourself. Go through the play by play. Ask, did I live with intention today? Did I stay true to my purpose? Did I let distractions win? Be honest. Not to judge yourself, but to adjust yourself, because awareness is power. You can't fix what you won't face. The moment you start being real with yourself at night, you start owning your results in the morning. And that's the part most people miss. Ownership. You can't keep blaming the system, your past, or your circumstances. You've got to take full responsibility for your growth. That's what reflection does. It exposes the truth. It forces you to confront the patterns that keep you stuck. And the more you face the truth, the more you control your future. Because you can't grow in denial, you grow in discipline. Then, as you recharge, don't just rest your body, rest your mind. Let go of the worry. Let go of the things you can't change today. The weight you carry into tomorrow will slow your progress. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is release it. You did your best. You showed up. You fought your battles. Now, rest knowing that tomorrow you'll fight better, wiser, stronger. When you wake up the next day, it's not about starting over. It's about starting stronger. That's what repeat means. You reflect so you can correct. You recharge so you can return refreshed. And you repeat because consistency turns ordinary people into extraordinary ones. You don't have to change everything in one day. You just have to keep showing up one day at a time. So tonight, when you lay your head down, don't just think about what went wrong. Think about what went right. Don't focus on what you didn't finish. Focus on what you started. Give yourself credit. Then give yourself a challenge. And when you wake up tomorrow, attack the day with fresh energy because you took the time to reset. That's the secret to lasting success. Not just waking up with fire, but ending the day with folk. Not just working hard, but working wise. Reflection sharpens you, rest restores you, and repetition sustains you. That's how you keep climbing even when the world slows down. And when you learn to end your days with the same purpose you start them, that's when success stops being a dream and starts becoming your rhythm. Because how you finish today determines how you rise tomorrow.